See if I can't get this done. Okay, what I'm going to do is go over our promo that we have in that they just announced. Okay, the very first thing on this thing is the 250. The 250 cycle check only applies to the first $500 cycle check. Anything over 500, there will not be any 250 checks. It's only for that first cycle. So if you've got one active on the left and one active on the right, and your volume is over 250 on each side, you'll get a check. And they will only deduct the 250 from each side, and the balance will carry over, okay, until the next week. So let's take the case that a person's just starting out, because this is meant to help you get money into people's hands quicker, but it also gave everybody in the business a lot of instant cash. And I'm going to show you how to do that tonight. Okay, for the new person coming in, when they get in, and it doesn't matter how they come in, $199, $359, or $499, then if they do 5 $199s left and right, they're going to get a check, and it'd be $250 because that's 50 points each. And so if they bring a person in, people come in like they do, and they get one each, and then they can get a check, and it'd be $250. Okay, if they get a combination of pluses, the standard plus account, so it only takes 3 left and 3 right. So they still make a check fast, and they're going to carry over their volume. So that'd be 300 left, 300 right. And how this works is that they will give them a check for $250, and then 50 points will carry over till the next week on both sides. Okay? So let's say they signed up somebody with a premium. Okay? That's 150 points. Well, 2 left and 2 right is 300 points. Just like the case before, they'll get a check for $250. They'll deduct 250 points from each side. They'll have a balance starting the next week of 50 points on each side, already in the commission, and it stays in their commission account. So they didn't flush it. Okay, so now I'm going to go and remind everybody that as I've always taught, a family business pack, everybody ultimately needs 3 centers. One on the left, one on the right, that they're in control of their business. I call them control centers, or I call them future expansion centers, because you can never put yourself on top. And that's how I've always taught this business, because that's how I started the business. 1, 2, 3, put yourself, you work one center, and then when you get that center clicking, then you're going to come back on your weak side, and you're going to start working one center. And you got half of it already built, because that team's there, and you're going to start working here, and you're going to get paid twice off that same volume. You'll get paid here, and you get paid here again, because you got a lot of money stored up in the bank account here. Okay, it doesn't matter who you are. When you start your business, everybody starts the same way, but it will always build this way no matter what. It doesn't matter if you're building slow or you're building fast, it's still going to build this way. Okay? And so I'm going to speak to those that are in the business now and show you what I'm talking about with my build 2, get paid on 3. But we're going to use these 2 as control centers, meaning that if they're $199 centers, they're good for a whole year, but you don't have to buy a coin in it every month. I did, I chose to buy a coin. And I chose to buy a coin because I wanted volume to accumulate in my bank account. So when I started working that business, I would never get ahead of my side, and I'd always be drawing out checks from it. And I was accumulating wealth at the same time. So if you really think of this as a true business, like you buy a business from someone and that you're thinking about you're going to expand it in the future, well, this is the same concept, except so many people never look at network marketing like a big business, and it's very unfortunate because the people who look at it like big business, they're the ones that make the big money, okay? And it's because they treat it like a standard business, meaning property. That's property. That's property. That's property. So when you bought your business, you're buying your future expansion. You bought a business. You bought the lot next door and the lot next door to it. So if you want to build it, if you never want to build it later down the road, 3 years, 4 years from now, 5 years from now, go ahead and sell that piece of property. There'll be a lot of people want to buy that from you, okay? Because they will start this way at the bottom of somebody, okay? And this company is going to be a multi-billion-dollar company. So right now, all this property is extremely valuable in the beginning, and especially, if you're in my group. Okay, now, once that concept is sunk in, and you really need to understand that concept, then I'm going to teach you right now how to optimize on this one left and one right with the current $250 cycle check. Okay, let's say I'm going to take first the newer people, and let's say you've got on your weak side less than 440 points. And on your other side, you got somewhere between 250 and less than 500 points. Okay. And you got no actives on the left and no actives on the right. So what should you do in that case? Well, you should continue to sponsor somebody. Okay. Continue to help and look for somebody. One on your left, one on your right. Doesn't matter what they come in. But let's take the case that you have that same volume and you got one active on your right, okay, or on your strong side. You got an active on your strong side, and you have somewhere between 200 and 440 points on the left. What should you do? You should buy property, $199. You spend $199, you get your piece of property on the left. It doesn't matter if it's right next to you. Better if it is, but if it's wherever you place it there. You got an active, and you've already got an active on your other side. You get a $250 check, so your property was free, and you get a coin, and you're accumulating wealth because you get a coin with that $199 center, and you get a $50 check. So you come out ahead, you got free property expansion, free business expansion at very early part of your business. That's pretty powerful. So let's take the example that you've got greater than 500 again, and you've got 380 points here. So what should you do? And you have 0 and 0. Well, I would go ahead and buy my property because you're going to end up with it. But if you want to wait, just keep waiting. And what you want to do is build up that you got 450 points on your left side, and you got greater than 500 on this side, on your strong side. Well, when you get 450 points, then you want to buy your 2 pieces of property if you only own 1. So now you got 1 on your left, 1 on your right. You control them. You spent $400. You got 2 coins, and you got $100 cash in advance. So you're accumulating wealth as you're building and preparing your business enterprise. Now that's pretty powerful when you come to think about this. Now I've looked at the smaller cases here, and so why? Let's say a person has 1 active on either their left or right, it doesn't matter, and they have 200 points. Let's say they got 1 active on their right side, and they got 200 points on their left. Well, if they don't have their control center, it's time to get their control center. Okay, and we want to turn our volume as rapidly as possible. I'm going to take Richard. I know your case, so I'm going to give. I think you got about 380 or something like that. Just nod your head if I'm thinking about right. Okay, you got 400. Okay, if you got 400 over here, and you got an active over here, what you want to do is you want to go ahead and make an active here. So that's a person, if you've got 1 active over here, you already have a control center, or you got an inactive on your right side, you want to go ahead and get a coin, and you want to turn your center because your volume is going to carry over on your weak side. See, before our volume wouldn't carry over. Right now, you want it to accumulate and get to that 250 check as fast as possible. And so we want to optimize our paycheck as many times as we can during this 2-month period. Okay, so what would that happen? If you got 400 points on your weak side, you spend $100 to get a valuable coin, you're accumulating wealth, and you get a $250 check. But then they'll subtract 250 from that 400, leave you with 150 on the weak side, and it starts accumulating again. And so if you sponsor somebody, or 2 people, or 1 person, or another person, or your person sponsors a person, then you're going to make a check real quick again, while you already got 30 days of activity on your right side. Okay, so this is what I want people to be looking at their business, is how to optimize their paycheck. Let's take an example that you got 200 on the left and a lot of volume on the right. You got an active on the right, and you don't have an active on the left. Powerful. $199 gets you a center over there, future expansion, gets you a coin in your hand, gives you $250. That expansion was free. Perfect scenario. Okay, what if it's 220? What if it's 230? What if it's 380? Same scenario, because all that volume is going to carry over to the next week. Now, the other thing is going to make easy for people to rank up. Let me give you the example of what I'm talking about there. See, you got to have an associate on your left and an associate on your right, and you got to have 2 people sponsored. Okay? I promote the family business pack, $4.99, $1.99, and $1.99. That's what New Mexico is really, that's how they're moving, and and getting promotions and building fast and got their team excited, because that's what most of the people come in with, the way I started. And that's what they're doing, and that's what they're duplicating. Well, sure, some people come in at just the $4.99. Sure, some people come in at just the $1.99. But more than 60% are coming in with a family business pack. Okay, so the family business pack is $4.99, $1.99, and $1.99. Some people are doing $1.99, $1.99, $1.99. But the thing is, they're an associate already. They're already an associate. And when they bring in a person right here with a family business pack, if they did the $4.99, $1.99, $1.99, well, that's 250 points. And they're a copper, because that's an associate here and an associate here. Let me go to this chart and you can see it. That's an associate. Okay, they bring in an associate, just this one right here. Forget about all the stuff at the bottom, right there. Okay, that's 250 points. That's 250 points. They're going to get a check the first time they bring in a person right there, left and right, just like that. Okay, Richard, you just need to bring in a person with a family business pack. Bingo, you pop a check. Okay, and create it and sell it as a business, as a family business pack, the way I'm doing, and promote it as a business, as building a business. And so this is the way to build our business. And guess what? If you've got an associate here, an associate here, you already got your one here and your one here. Well, that's two active you sponsored, because one of them was yourself. One of them's yourself. You're automatically a copper. Wow. And if they duplicate that, you become a bronze. If they duplicate what you did, either one of those two people, you become a bronze. But that's pretty powerful. Now, so for people who do not have their two control centers, this gets them their two control centers. And it gets them where, let's take the person that doesn't have them, go back to that, and they get to 450 points and 500 points, and they have no actives on their left and no actives on their right. Well, when they're 450 on their weak side, they purchase they sign up on their own center, their control center left, makes them 500 points, $1.99. They sign up on their right, $1.99. Those are both free property expansions, because you get a check of $500 and you get 2 coins with it. Okay, so the object of tonight with a 250 cycle check is to look at your volume and try and turn your volume as soon as you can, and let your points carry over, and then build up to another, because it's easier to build up to 250 points than it is to build up to 500 points. So you want to turn your cycle in half for this next 2 months on your weak side. Okay, and that's what people should be striving to do and working in their business. And anything excess is just going to roll into the next week. It isn't going to go away. Now, anything over 500, it works the same way as it always did. Everything over 500, if you're a copper, it goes into loyalty reward points. If you're a copper above, it goes into loyalty reward point. If you're just an associate, they flush. Okay, and so that was one of the main things that I wanted to try and help people understand tonight with the 250 promotion that they have going on. because it's all positive, it's all premium. Nobody flushes any points. They're not a 250 cycle and a flush. It is everything carries over under 500 points. Under 500 points, it carries over. And that's only through February. It ends on February 29th. Now, I tell you, this is extremely generous because that's pretty hard for them to keep this up. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop sharing this right now, and